What's up guys, it's Rob from RobMMA, back at it again with my picks and predictions for UFC 278 Kamaru Usman vs Leon Edwards 2. I haven't been as active as I should have been, but I was just not disciplined enough to do any sort of videos. But without wasting too much time, let's get right into the video. Which fights am I going to give my picks? Of course for the main card, but also for the last preliminary fight, Marcin Tybura vs Alexandr Romanov. I don't understand why they put that fight in the prelims, because I think this fight is better than the first two fights in the main card. But whatever, I guess they want more buys for the prelims. Romanov has some really good wrestling and is also undefeated at 16-0. But don't get me wrong, Marcin Tybura is also really good. He had a 5-fight winning streak prior to losing to Alexandr Volkov. But I still think Romanov takes it by second round TKO because the first fight on the main card is Tyson Pedro vs Hunsucker. But I don't even know why this fight was made. Tyson is a huge favorite at like -800 and Hunsucker is also a huge underdog at plus 500. So I got Pedro. For one, he had the better competition, like he fought Paul Craig and actually won, and also fought OSP and Shogun Hua. He lost the last two, but I didn't knew he fought those veterans. And two, Hunsucker has 2 fights in the UFC, which are 2 losses and both against Australians. Now guess which nationality is Pedro? Exactly, Australian. I take him by first round submission. Up we have the only 2 women fighting on the card, which are Yanan and Lucie Pudilovà. I don't know much about these fighters, but I found out that Lucie has had struggles in the past with good wrestlers, but Yanan prefers to strike more. I think Lucie takes it because she got a slightly longer arm reach and also much longer legs. I have Lucie by unanimous decision. Next fight is between the legendary Brazilian José Aldo and Merab the Machine Dvalishvili. This is probably the fight that excites me the most on the card. It's a fight where the winner is very likely going to be the next title challenger for the bantamweight title belt. It's a classic striker versus wrestler matchup, where Aldo is the striker and Merab the wrestler. Normally the wrestler has the advantages, especially when he is younger. But here's the catch. José Aldo, after being in the UFC for over 11 years with 19 fights, he has a takedown defense of 90%. 90% takedown defense is already good, but then considering he had 19 fights and fought against many high-level fighters, that's just crazy. He's one of the best anti-wrestlers in the whole UFC. I think he's going to catch Merab with a nasty hook to the liver in the second round. Second to last fight is between Paulo Costa and Rockhold. Both men haven't been in the cage for some time. Paulo for almost a year and Luke over 3 years. This fight got actually some fans more excited than the main event, and I can definitely understand why. Rockhold being back for the first time in 3 years is interesting because we will see how the layoff has changed his game. Also, Paulo got a lot more popular since his Twitter has got a lot of attention for his funny tweets/memes, which by the way are all his tweets alone. But for the fight, many fans see Paulo Costa winning via blasting Luke's shin in the first 2 rounds, but I actually see Costa win by decision. I think Luke worked on his defense enough to endure all 3 rounds, but would still get rocked in the first 2 rounds, which will ultimately lose him the fight via decision. One thing that I think is interesting in the fight is that Luke got a significant reach advantage over Paulo. I think like 5 inches, which makes me guess that Paulo will have some trouble with Luke's reach, which also reminds me of his fight with Izzy, where he badly lost. Nonetheless, I take Paulo Costa by unanimous decision. And now we have the main event where Kamaru Usman takes on Leon Edwards for the second time. Back in 2015, both of these fighters were early into their UFC careers. Usman had a very heavy wrestling style, which he still has, but he actually now puts people away on their feet. But that isn't too bad for Leon, because I think he still is the better striker. What will also be interesting is how difficult or easy it is going to be for Usman to take Edwards down. In the first fight, we saw how Leon was kind of shocked by how strong Usman was. But of course, Leon's takedown defense got a lot better, and he as a fighter overall as well. Especially Leon's clinch game is super good. If Kamaru doesn't get the takedown, is forced into the clinch, and when then the clinch breaks up, Leon has a good chance to catch Usman with a nasty elbow that cuts him open. I think that this fight will be more competitive than people actually think. Even though Leon is a phenomenal fighter with a 10-fight unbeaten streak, I still don't see him beating the current pound-per-pound #1 fighter with a 15-fight winning streak, Kamaru Usman. I take him via unanimous decision. And with that, I have showed you all the picks and predictions I have for UFC 278 Kamaru Usman vs Leon Edwards 2. As always, I hope you enjoyed the video. If so, please leave a like and subscribe. Leave a comment about your picks and predictions. And with that, thanks for watching.